golden age of ancient Egypt, long before Cleopatra, a woman climbed the highest throne in the land and ruled as king. She wore the royal kilt, the false beard, and the double crown of Upper and Lower Egypt. Her name was Hatshepsut, and for nearly 2 decades she guided one of the world's greatest civilizations, only to have parts of her memory deliberately erased after her death. Hatshepsut lived during the 18th Dynasty, in the New Kingdom period, around the 15th century BCE. This was a time when Egypt was powerful, wealthy, and expanding its influence through diplomacy, trade, and military campaigns. The royal court at Thebes was filled with priests, administrators, and nobles who managed temples, foreign tribute, and massive building projects along the Nile. Hatshepsut was born a princess, the daughter of Pharaoh Thutmose III and his principal wife, Ahmose. As a royal child, she would have been raised within the palace complex, educated in religious rituals, courtly protocol, and the stories of Egypt's gods and legendary kings. From the beginning, she was immersed in a world where political power and divine authority were woven tightly together. As was common in the royal family, Hatshepsut married her half-brother Thutmose II, who became pharaoh after Thutmose III. In this role, she was great royal wife, the principal queen, supporting the king in rituals and dynasty building. When Thutmose II died relatively young, the throne passed to a boy, Thutmose III, born to a secondary wife. Hatshepsut, as his stepmother and closest senior royal, stepped in as regent to rule on his behalf. Over time, Hatshepsut's authority expanded beyond that of a regent. She gradually adopted full royal titles and symbols, proclaiming herself pharaoh. In inscriptions, she presented her rule as ordained by the god Amun, describing divine oracles and prophecies that confirmed her right to the throne. To fit established expectations of kingship, she was often depicted in art with a masculine body shape and royal beard, though the texts preserved her identity as a woman. Hatshepsut ruled for around 20 years, and her reign is remembered more for stability and prosperity than for constant warfare. She invested heavily in architecture, renewing temples and commissioning monuments across Egypt. Her government maintained Egypt's foreign interests but emphasized trade, prosperity, and the favor of the gods, especially Amun, whose cult center at Karnak she richly endowed. Hatshepsut's most famous monument is her mortuary temple at Deir el-Bahri, on the west bank of Thebes. Built in terraces against a dramatic cliff, the temple blended architecture and landscape in a way that remains striking today. Ramps and colonnades led visitors up through courtyards decorated with reliefs celebrating her divine birth, her coronation, and the achievements of her reign. One of Hatshepsut's most celebrated achievements was a trading expedition to the land of Punt, probably located along the Red Sea coast in the Horn of Africa region. Reliefs at Deir el-Bahri show Egyptian ships sailing south, bringing back exotic goods, myrrh trees, incense, ebony, ivory, and gold. The scenes portray local rulers, unfamiliar animals, and a landscape different from the Nile Valley, emphasizing the reach and wealth of Egypt under Hatshepsut. Because Egyptian tradition expected the pharaoh to be male, Hatshepsut's kingship required careful presentation. Official inscriptions emphasized that the gods had chosen her, and that she continued the royal line rather than breaking it. Statues and reliefs show her in multiple forms, sometimes clearly feminine in dress and body shape, sometimes in full male regalia. Together they created a complex but coherent image of a woman ruling in a role defined as king. Eventually, Thutmose III came of age and ruled alongside Hatshepsut. After Hatshepsut's death, he became the sole pharaoh and reigned for many decades, leading numerous military campaigns and expanding Egypt's power. For a long time it was suspected that he had been hostile to her rule, but modern scholarship suggests the situation may have been more complex, involving political timing, religious concerns, and dynastic presentation. Some years after Hatshepsut's death, many of her images and names were deliberately chiseled out from monuments. Statues were broken or buried, and cartouches bearing her titles were erased. This was a targeted campaign, not a complete destruction of everything connected to her, but it did succeed in obscuring her role for centuries. Scholars debate the reasons, whether it was about legitimizing later succession, correcting what some saw as an irregular kingship, or reshaping royal history to emphasize male continuity. Like, comment, and share this video. Subscribe to Past in Motion.